Welcome man to the mini manifesto on how to attract women you always wanted. So let's start with the start. You're a male, you're an entrepreneur, super successful in business, or you're very ambitious and you're on the way and you're trying to ask yourself, why am I not dating the woman that I really like? And oftentimes it's something we will postpone on, because in the world there's many people who are single, and especially now in the West we normalize the fact that a lot of people want to spend time alone, they want to live alone, and they don't want to go into a deep relationship, and they just try to stay single, and in the weekend they get drunk and they go to the nightclub and they just try to meet somebody. So it depends where in life, it depends also what you want to do, but from my experience, 99% of men out there and also women, they want to meet a counterpart, to spend their life together with and just to build something together. I can also speak from my own experience when I was single, living the playboy lifestyle and having amazing and fun experiences, traveling all over the world, meeting women, being intimate with them on an almost daily basis, having threesomes, group sex, and so on. I was living the playboy lifestyle, the rock star lifestyle, let's say. But to be honest, being in a relationship, what I am now, for example, is way more peaceful and also gives me way more time to work on my business and to work on other missions and goals that I have in life. So there are two different ways to do that. But in my experience, most people always want to have an amazing relationship. That's the deep layer of our heart is really searching for that. So I'm speaking to those guys now who are very aware of what they want. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you want. If you want to be a super playboy for a few years, or you just want to get that girlfriend that you really like, I think that's up to you. What I do is I will teach you the skills and the social skills and the confidence and how to achieve those things. When I was younger and I started this journey, I was very awkward, I was socially anxious, I was very insecure, I got very nervous when I started talking to girls, and I didn't really know how to do that. And I thought it was my identity, I thought it was going to be for life, and nobody around me would tell me, do this or do that. It was just something that you are or you're not. Like I saw people next to me who were doing very well with women, and I would just look at myself in the mirror and just think, okay, I am just a person that people don't really like. It took some time until I got the awareness of, okay, this is a skill set. You can become a better communicator. You can get yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually more attractive, and you can go out there and start learning a skill set and meeting women. And the pivotal point for me was when I met somebody who told me this, and he said to me like, listen Steph, I am very social, you see me and you admire me because you complimented me, but I also learned this, and everybody can basically. So you as well. And this little manifesto, I will give you a small trajectory on how to achieve that as well, and what I would do if I would work with you, or if I would tell myself, my younger self, or let's say my little brother, or anybody out there who wants to become very successful with women and eventually date a woman you really like. So first of all, you need the awareness. When you start this journey, I meet a lot of men out there and they all have a certain opinion. We have excuses, or we have a reality, or we've been in certain experiences, we got divorced, or we've been in bad relationship, or a little bit traumatized. We all have a story. For me, the story was I just grew up in an emotionally unavailable situation, and I didn't really learn the proper skill sets to attract people in my life. And I had to learn that, and then I also had to learn the emotional intelligence, and also how to be more courageous, and what is loyalty, and what is giving love, and what is receiving love, and all these little things. And every story is different. I have clients who've been living their whole life, 20, 30, 40 years, always in the same patterns, not attracting the women they like, being shy, putting themselves in the second position, and so on. So this is the first thing you should realize for yourself. Like the awareness that meeting women, becoming a better person, and being that male that women are attracted to naturally, that it is a skill set. It's a lot of small skill sets in one big skill set, but we can all learn that. The first thing I would do, if I would take you on a ride, or I take you on a plan, or I will show you how it's done, is I would tell you, you gotta start talking to women. Now, most of you out there that are already very successful in different areas of your life, they're already talking to women. they know how to say hi, they communicate with a lot of clients, they have business partners they work together with, so they understand how communication works. But oftentimes, they don't really understand how you have to talk to beautiful women. It's a little bit different. It's not so structured, it's not so logical. It's a bit more like the ocean. We all know that women are, we always make fun of it, like, oh my God, women, they always change opinions, they always do this, they always do that. We all think it's super funny. But when we communicate with women and we want to build a connection, we also have to adapt a little bit and show our social intelligence. Same way when you talk to a client of yours, you also have to try to change a little bit, be like a social chameleon, and the same is with women. So first of all, we want to start to talk to more women on a daily basis. The more we start talking to women, the better we will get at it. Also with an open mind. We don't want to go there and say, okay, I want to achieve something. No, I just want you to start experiencing female communication. Goof around, play with it, test things out, and go on. And the most important thing is I want you to start cold approaching. Now, cold approach, what will it bring to you? First of all, it will make you way more confident because you have to overcome the fear of rejection. Your self-esteem will get better. The fear of being awkward or being cringe around people or thinking that you're interrupting their day because they're doing something important. All these negative belief systems that most of the men out there have, we have to get rid of them as fast as possible. And that goes with cold approach. This is one of the things that comes. You get more resilient, you become more positive, you become more courageous, you become also more creative because you're putting yourself out there. What happens is for your subconscious and your brain and your nervous system, when you're used to putting yourself out there, you kind of realize like, oh my God, all these things I'm doing, I'm always getting positive responses and I'm also growing as a person. This is super interesting because we've been living in this road in life, like you cannot do this, you cannot do that, or you see certain opportunities, you're not really going for that. And that really limits yourself and your self-growth as well. But once you start looking outside of that, how to meet people, and especially women in general, your brain will expand very rapidly. And this habit, I mean, the psychology always say, and in all the self-help books they say, a habit needs 21 to 28 or 31 days to become a real habit in your identity. So, and I think it's somewhere like that, yeah. It takes a few days, a few weeks before your complete personality inhibits the new skill set of cold approaching. But we want to start with this. I think even without thinking we need to find a result, we want to meet an amazing woman, we want to build a relationship, we want to improve this or that, I just want you to do it. It's the same when you want to become more fit. I wouldn't say, okay, go to the gym, do this kind of workout, this amount of minutes, and so on. I would just tell you, start working out, whatever you want to do. Go play sports, go to the gym, do whatever you want, do some calisthenics, play some football, go for a run. It doesn't really matter. It's about a habit. And the same is in cold approach. With women, I just want you to start. I want you to do one approach every single day to start it at least. Of course, if you can do more and better, of course it's going to make your skill set improve way faster, but we're going to start with one. So we do one approach every single day, or maybe two, or maybe three, and then all of a sudden you will see after a few days, oh my God, this is fucking easy. Why haven't I been doing this my whole life? Why have I waited so long? And then you will start to realize like, okay, because I was scared, because of this, because of that, and all those limiting beliefs are not correct. And there goes the second part, all the limiting beliefs we have. For me, they were, I'm anxious, this is part of my identity, I'm just a guy that girls don't like, I think it's awkward, I don't want to interrupt them, I'm scared if somebody sees me, I'm scared what people will think of me, and all these limiting beliefs. And throughout, when you start cold approaching, get used to it, with guidance of me of course, you will get so many positive references, and you'll realize that all the negative belief systems that you had is actually the opposite, because you're giving a gift. When I or you gonna start cold approaching, and let's say you go to the coffee place tomorrow or next week, and you approach a beautiful woman and you say like, hey, nice to meet you, I thought you were cute and I wanted to say hi. Can you imagine what kind of beautiful gift that is? I always keep telling people around me, if I go and cold approach somebody or just give somebody a genuine compliment, you know how that makes people feel? I would wish somebody would come to me often, or even sometimes a stranger or a person that I know, and comes and give to me a genuine compliment. I think that's super funny, but it rarely happens. You can really see people's face lighting up when you give an amazing compliment. And this is something you really have to learn, and this comes with the action. Your limiting beliefs will shift completely. The same with, oh, what are people gonna think of me when I cold approach people and interrupt their day? And this will turn into, guys will look at you and they will say like, oh my God, who is that guy? Who is that guy with balls? This guy is fucking balls. He's cold approaching this beautiful woman that all the men are staring at, and he is approaching them. Who is this guy? Must be super successful. And even when you get rejected, let's say you go to a restaurant and there's a woman eating with her friend on a table, and you go there and you present yourself, you say, hey, hi, my name is this, I thought you were cute, and she's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm having dinner with my friend, I would like to be in private with my friend, please, can you go? Rejection, right, of the situation. And even that guy that would see you approaching there and even think like, oh my God, he's getting rejected. Even this guy would think like, oh my God, he's getting rejected and he's still doing it and he's still okay. What a fucking hero. And this is something also that I experienced towards my journey. I would go to places and I had a meeting, for example, or I go to a conference and I would meet these guys, and all of a sudden there's a beautiful lady in the lobby waiting, and I would just approach her and say hi to her. And of course, my business partners, the people in the conference, they would say like, oh my God, wow, the fuck, you're crazy. What are you doing? Well, for me, it's so normal in my reality because I've been doing it for such a long time, and I'm so good at it because I've been doing it so long. For me, it's just a normal connection. If I go to a coffee place, I make connections left and right, not only with women, but also with men. And that is a beautiful thing. The people that master the cold approach skill, they get so much positive reinforcement from the outside world. But this is something you have to go through. And it takes a few weeks before you get used to it and you start getting so many positive reinforcements from your external world. I see it as a superstar skill, basically. Not because it's something that is so difficult to learn, but it's so easy because most people don't do it. Because they are too much in their head, they're overthinking, they're stuck, they're always assuming a negative outcome, and they listen to their shadow in their brain, blah 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 blah. But you gotta put yourself over that. And of course, that's why there are people like me, there are also other people teaching people how to become really good with women, communication skills, cold approach, and so on. So this is the first part. Like once you understand cold approach and becomes a habit, and you see that beautiful woman in the street, in the airport, whatever, and you approach her, the second part is I want you to become better at building rapport with strangers, or also in people that you know. What is building rapport? Building rapport is building a connection between two people, understanding what they want to talk about, understanding who they are, what their value system is, what they care about, and so on, and trying to find things in common. Hobbies, travels, nationalities, age, whatever there is, and this is building rapport. It can also be with some physical contact, it can be with some other things as well. There's a lot of things to build rapport, and I will also make some videos about that. So first of all, cold approach, talk to more women. Second of all, building rapport. And third of all, I want you to become also a better storyteller. Again, very simple. I have a few exercises for that. For example, you look in the mirror yourself every morning for 30 seconds while you brush your teeth, or afterwards or before, and you just share a little story about it. You share a story what you did the night before, the evening before. You share a story about the last business deal you've done. It doesn't really matter. Just practice 30 seconds and you will see the fact that you're doing that will already make you become a better storyteller, because we all are amazing storytellers, because we see it all the time in movies, on YouTube, on Instagram, people around us, in business as well. When you see somebody pitching, the subconscious knows how to do it, but the fact that you're not practicing it enough or not doing it makes you think that you're not good at it. But practicing every morning for 30 seconds in front of the mirror, using your hands, using good body language, using a projecting voice will make you really stand out there instantly. And 30 seconds a day, guys, what kind of investment is that? Let's be honest, that is 15 minutes per month. That is 180 minutes per year to become an amazing storyteller. Can you imagine? So this is something you want to do as well. Another tip, when you're connecting with people in general, can also be in business, can be in cold approach, warm approach, on a date, whatnot. I want you to imagine that there is an arc of light going from your heart to the person you're communicating with, her heart as well. This is something that I learned from Russell Brand. You imagine there is something connecting the two of you from heart to heart, and with that intention, you communicate with another person. We are all connected in this very strange, esoteric way. Nobody can really explain it yet. I think it will take a few more years, 100 years maybe 50 years, before we can have a scientific explanation of the way we're all strangely connected to each other. Woman, male, animals, and so on. We can feel each other, we can feel when somebody's in the other space, and so on. Sometimes you come into a room, there's 20 people, person looks behind you, and you have straight eye contact, and you kind of feel, oh my God, there's something up with this person. There is a connection. What is happening there? So these are very special forces that we have no idea of. They exist yet because we cannot see them with a visual eye. But I want you to imagine an arc from your heart to the other person's heart, and in this case, a beautiful woman, and communicate with that intention of coming from there. And you will see building connections will be amazing. And of course, you will not always build a connection to have an intimate relationship or a one-night stand or whatever you're looking for, but you will have a very sincere communication style, and you will know exactly where we are. Because in all honesty, most people you talk to, you will never build a relationship. Because we're so different. There's so many different things that we don't like, that we like. Some people, for me, for example, I'm very into health. Like if I was meeting women and they would smoke, I would not like it. I don't really like tattoos, for example. There's a lot of things that I didn't like, so I was really putting my standards high. But because I had the abundance in my life and the choice because I had the social skills and I always could meet women everywhere because I'm cold approaching very easily. That's how I can put the bar very high and the high standards that's why I can put the standards very high. Sorry, my throat is a little bit funky today. So another thing that I hear as well from people asking me, but Steph, should I approach every single woman that I see out there? Of course not. Because in the end, we are very busy people. We have a business to run, or we have a very busy job or whatever. But I want you to do is, I want you to figure out for yourself, and I think we all have that, like, what is your ideal woman? With what kind of woman do you see yourself spending time with on the long term? You can do it on paper, you can make a list, you can write it down. And once you kind of understand what your dream woman is, I want you to set a rule for yourself. Every time you see that woman anywhere, in the bakery, in the supermarket, wherever you're working, in the coffee place, in the airport, if you see your dream woman, that is the only time you have to go and represent yourself and approach her no matter what. So this is the rule I set myself. Always go when you see your dream woman. And for the rest of your life, just go when you feel the inspiration, when you're curious, but don't put the pressure on yourself like, oh my God, every time I see a gorgeous woman I need to approach. Because let's say if you live in New York City or in another big city like Barcelona, Hong Kong, Singapore, wherever, of course you're going to see a lot of people. And in the end, we want to be very efficient. Like a cold approach should never be longer than 10 minutes, for example. The approach takes a few seconds, and then you realize, okay, there's something happening, there's chemistry, you get to know each other for a few minutes, and then a few more minutes you build more rapport, and then you take the number, and then you already set something up for the next time, and more, it doesn't have to take 10 minutes. So that is actually something very important, and it's a word I hear from a lot of my clients. So only go for women that you really like, because in the end, this is also a game of efficiency. We are very busy people. We're doing a lot of things. We're running a business. We're meeting a lot of people. So we don't want to lose too much time on it. And I will tell you for sure, like if you want to learn this skill, like of course if you put more time in it, it's going to be way more easier to become super good at this in a very small amount of time. But 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day is enough time to become super good at this on a consistent basis. Because let's be honest, How long does it take to really approach somebody? A few seconds. And of course, if you have a connection there, you will, with all your pleasure and your heart, you will have a longer conversation. And if you don't like each other, or she rejects you, or you're like, oh my God, I actually don't really like this person, you can just reject the situation, just go yourself away. And then you lost maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes maximum. So it's also limiting belief. I hear a lot, oh, I use dating apps because I don't have time to go out and meet women. Wrong. There's women anywhere, everywhere, except if you live in a village somewhere in the outskirts of Siberia, but most of you live in cities or in highly populated areas, and there's always room to meet women anywhere, anytime. You go for a walk, or you go to the coffee shop, and in a way you see people, so there's always time for that. So, cold approach, getting over your limiting beliefs, building rapport, understanding you don't have to talk to all women, only the women that you really like. And this only will give you a lot of material ready to work with. Like these little things will change your life instantly. Like if you will start approaching a woman every single day, 1 or 2, you will see after a few weeks it becomes so easy and effortless because you will learn. In the beginning it's so scary, I know. It's something new. You've been living in this reality for a long time. I always call it like a mental box. This is like a mental box that you have these cool ideas in, and it was somewhere deep in the closet. And you want to take that box out, open it, and start playing with the tools again. Playing with them and using them. And Cool approach is something like that. Because as a child, as a baby, 6, 7 years old, whatever old you are, it was very easy to start playing with people all over. You would see somebody in the park, you would just go there. And then your parents would yell, be careful, be careful. But you just wanted to play. You saw this girl, you just went to her. Hey, how are you? This and that. So yeah, just checking if my mic was still working. So it was very effortless as a child. And we want to open that inner child again that was for who was so effortlessly to meet people anywhere, anytime. And that is what we want to achieve. And by making it a habit to call a person, become more social and talk more to people, this will go very, very fast. And then you're on the fucking right road track to becoming irresistible for women and be part of the 0.1% of men out there who approach women and cold approach. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of competition for the most beautiful and intelligent women out there. Every successful person that I know wants a woman like that. And there's a lot of suffering. Because everybody's chasing those women, a lot of creeps as well. Everybody's sliding their DMs, everybody's trying to match them on the dating apps. Everybody, when they see them in a nightclub drunk, is trying to approach them. But can you imagine like how you stand out when you start approaching them in the real life, when you see them on the beach in a coffee place? Because most people don't do that in a normal way. Like most of the people that even approach them there are a little bit creepy. They yell something from far away. They don't really know what they're doing. So it's a skill set. You approach, you give them space, you show them, you don't put any pressure on them, you try to build connection, you show your value system, who you are, and you show that you're successful in a way that you have a strong character, and so on. You let her get to know you. You also figure out if you like her, and if you have a connection there, you can grow from there and explore. But that's why you need to be normal, have the skill sets to do that as well. And most guys don't have that. They get too nervous when they call approach. They don't really know what to say, so they say a lot of stupid shit, or they start bragging, or they start over complimenting, or they go into interview mode. All these little weird things that you will never do with your best friends, you start doing it when you see that beautiful one. And these are all little things we want to learn and to become better at. Because in the end, the partner of our life is actually going to be our best friend. So you want to communicate with her as you're talking to your best friend in not a nervous way. And these are all things that I will keep helping you with, and I want to make you into a social superstar, into a cold approach master, a relationship master, and a communication master with a lot of confidence, so you can get the girlfriend that you deserve and want, and of course keep her as well. I hope this mini manifesto is useful for you. If you want to see more content, subscribe to my content. I'm going to keep sharing a lot of things, a lot of information. Because my goal is that you all are super happy in your dating life, and you can all come from a place of abundance and date and keep the woman you want and deserve. I wish you an amazing day, and I see you next week. Also, subscribe to my Instagram account, where I will be sharing a lot of information, content. Also, I will show you videos where I approach myself and whatnot. You can also check out my online academy on Skool, where I will do weekly calls with all my clients, so I can instantly give them feedback wherever they are in their situation, their dating life, whatnot. They're dating, they don't know what to text, they don't know what to do on the dates. They haven't been approaching for a few weeks, so they need some more motivation. That's where I come in. I guide you guys through this process of becoming super good until you find the girl of your dreams. Date her and keep her. Enjoy your day.